Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to Mortgage on My Mind. I'm Natalie Salins. Today with us we have Kathy Cuevas. She's a personal finance coach and the founder of Financial Freedom Pathway, dedicated to helping women master their money, eliminate debt, and build lasting wealth. Drawing on a 20-year career as a financial literacy teacher and her own real-world investing experience, she provides personalized one-on-one coaching to help clients transform financial overwhelm into clarity and confidence. Welcome, Kathy. Thank you for being here.
And that was quite the mouthful. Yeah, you did really good.
I was
Thank
like,
you.
wait. Well, are you an actual loan officer or financial advisor?
Well, my first job out of college was a loan officer at Bank of America, but that didn't last too long because I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't what I thought it was all cracked up to be. So I left
How
there.
could you enjoy it at Bank of America? No I'm kidding.
And that's probably why.
I worked at Bank of America too, and then ran
So,
screaming. But yes, but go ahead. Yes, so you started at B of A.
well, that's right out of college. And that only
Sure.
lasts, like I said, 3 months and I quit. So that's not
Oh,
even on the books. I
really fast.
retired teaching just over 30 years of school. My last 20 were at high school, and the last 13 of those were teaching personal finance. And the last 3 were also teaching the advanced finance class they asked me to write the curriculum for. So those kids learned how to do everything on steroids. Like they all play the stock market game, but these kids learned how to dissect companies like Warren Buffett does. So they really had an adult education at high school, and the kids just ate it up. They loved what they learned. In fact, my seniors, most of it was seniors that last year I taught, I asked teachers, I put a note in the mailbox if any of them needed financial help on it. This is, budgeting or getting out of debt or retirement planning. And I had a few responses. So I paired the kids up to talk to them. And those teachers were blown out of the water how much these seniors knew more than they did. And these teachers were anywhere from 45 to like 65 or higher. So they were just blown out of the water how smart these high school kids were by the time they were done with me. So that was really impressive. It was heartwarming that I paid it forward. Excuse me. I worked at a Title I school, so these kids were also low income. 95% of them had free lunch. So what they learned from me totally transformed the future of their family. So that just brought joy to my heart, which is why I started this business as I retired, because I wanted to continue helping people pay it forward. Because way back in my early days, I kind of stumbled in through divorce, no fault of my own, but through a divorce, I almost lost the house I was in, raising 2 kids, and time off.
Right.
So my story starts from there. My turnaround was in my 40s, so I coach women in the 40s and above, although I've helped men and women, but that's my niche is 40 and above, because that was my turning point. So then I got into real estate, and whatever I touched turned to gold. So I'm very blessed by God that everything worked out better than the early days when I almost lost my home.
Yeah, amazing. So you started just investing in property, or were you a realtor? Did you? Yeah.
My sister was a realtor early on. I think maybe before I even got out of 4 years, my first bachelor's degree, or my first 4 years, I've had 8 years, but my first 4 years, my bachelor's, she was on the fast track, worked at a grocery store, went through there, became journeyman, met her first husband, got married shortly after that. They both got into real estate. So that's the only connection real estate I had. She never bought her home, sold a home for me or with me. But I kind of was envious because I'm still trod my way like the tortoise and the hare through college to go what I want to do, which is be a business owner, which I guess technically I am, owning several rental properties. But it didn't, my road was slow, hers was fast. Now I'm millions ahead of her and she's needing help. So it, I'm not saying it derogatory. It's just you have to do your pace and your thing and your interest. And like I told my students, you can invest in the market or you can invest in real estate. Those are the two your daddy is Warren Buffett, sugar daddy's going to die and leave you a lot of money. The two ways people become millionaires, the easiest, I guess. But it does come with the stomach for it. So I taught them all the good, the bad, and the very ugly I've had during my 20 some years of the rental business. I started in 2007 during the market crash, buying my first 3 rentals for pennies on the dollar.
Wow. Amazing. Good for you. And how many properties do you own now?
Now I own 3 because I sold 2 to buy one, which is our retirement forever home. But because one of those I sold had a huge capital gains, instead of giving Uncle Sam $85,000, I did a 1031 exchange. So I can't move into this house for 2 years, which is, I'm biting the bullet because it was just new floors, new paint. I'm going, please pray to God the right person I pick will not trash the house. And I
Right.
think I did good. Actually, he moves in the first of the month. But
Oh, good. So,
so as I'm getting older, I'm thinking my sister, because I talked about, the will and living trust and things and who wants a house. And I expect them to be kept as rentals because you never know on a rainy day, you'll need the money, be glad you had it because they were all paid off. So
sure.
nobody wanted to manage your property. So now I'm going to be liquidating everything in my trust and changing all of that. But I thought, well, that's a good point. So maybe I better start downsizing so there's less properties to sell because I'm not in need of that extra income anyway, knock on wood. So I'm living off my pension and the rental income I have right now. So everything will work out fine, even if I just have one rental left with what I have now. So
Exactly.
you never know when your plans will change. I never thought I'd ever stop, but I thought, well, wait a minute, am I going to really want to be dealing with people when I'm 80 years old? So
No,
I
there's got
switched
to
that.
be a
So
point where you just, take it
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Well, let's go back to the forever home, the retirement home,
okay.
because it's something that I like to talk to clients about who already own, who are kind of looking to purchase an investment but aren't sure where or what do they want, like where should they buy and should they even buy an investment? And I've been saying to clients for years now, like, and of course I haven't done this myself yet, which I should probably start taking my own advice, but I'm always like, where do you see wanting to live? Like, live out your retirement to home. Like, is it where you live now? Most of the time, I'd say like 90% of the time, that answer is no. Nobody wants to live where they currently live in their 30s and 40s. And I'm like, you should think about buying where you want to retire and then rent it. Because if you can at least even just break even on a
Mhm.
home that is the home that you can see yourself living in the area where you want to live in, then you have a home that probably by the time you live in it will cost you very little. Like if
Yes.
I bought something even 10 years ago in the area that I would want to retire in, that mortgage payment's like 2,500 bucks. If I were to buy it now, that mortgage payment would be 4,500 bucks. So when I go to retire, I would prefer the $2,500 payment rather than the $4,500 payment. And meanwhile, in the 10 years or 20 years before you move in, you have been able to pay for it's basically paid for itself. And then you get to move in, take advantage of the much lower loan and the much more lower taxes because you bought prior. Like everything just works out to be, it's a smarter investment. If you can foresee that. So, yes,
Definitely. I
your thoughts.
agree
Yeah,
100%. 100% yes. Some people, though, sometimes don't know where they want to retire.
true,
And
true.
my husband and I talked about still keeping our property that we live in right now and renting it out and then just traveling the world, like starting with Mexico and someplace close to the border, because like we're both over 65 right now. And we
Hmm.
got to think if we go out of the country, then we're going to have to buy a medical plan in that country unless we go close to the border and can fly back to the States or something like that. And it depends, of course, on what happens to you. Both of us, knock on wood, have good health. But the number one thing I tell my clients, especially if they're like looking towards retirement within the next 10 years or something, look at what you want to retire to. I think all
Right.
but one home I've ever had has been 2-story, and we're in a 2-story now. And for now, can still go up the stairs and down the stairs. My husband's mother is 94 years old now, and a year or two ago, she misstepped one step in her house and fractured her hip, and now she's
Oh.
walking with a walker. That can happen when you're 45. It's something bad. It could be worse. You can get in a horrible car accident. But there might come
Right.
a time where you have to have either a wheelchair in your house and you have to have wide enough doors. So you really want to think about that. So my forever home that we just bought last month is a single story home, a little bit bigger than the one we're in now, but we're missing 2 rooms. So we're going to have to make it work. This very bigger room, so we should be fine. But I'm telling you right now, as a baby boomer, it
Mm,
is darn near impossible to find a single story house that's not as old as I am in a place I want to live. The
right.
competition to buy this house is the most fierce I have ever been through. The
Where
agent,
is it?
it's in Eastvale, California.
Okay. Where is that?
Eastvale is an annex of what Corona told.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Corona right now. Eastvale
Got
used
it.
to be part of Corona, but they
Okay.
decided to annex themselves off of Corona, so they're called Eastvale.
Okay.
But it's in Southern California between Los Angeles and Riverside, closer to Riverside.
Got it.
But there was the people I heard later on, they wanted to list it at 900,000, which is probably what it was worth for sure. The agent said, no, we're going to price it at 839 to get more bidders in. And she got what she wanted. There was 12 of us bidding almost day one, with one other one coming in at the end of the last cutoff for bids. And they got 12 bids, 4 of them, which were all cash. And
Oh,
I'm looking at, oh my God, how can you compete? And I was in the top 3 almost the entire time until just the day before. So my agents had to do a little finagling to say, hey, she really wants it. She was the first bid you had in. Please include her in that 4. And they did. And I got the home for way more than asking. But I look at it, if it was to be a rental home, no way. There's no way in heaven that I would have paid that much for this house.
right.
It was doing the doing the ROIs and things like that. It's difficult. So because it's my forever home, the mindset is totally different. You're looking at your forever home, and I'm looking back at a couple of the market crashes. They maybe just bought those homes. The market crashed. They thought, my God, I've lost a bunch of money, and they sell it. And that's when they realize the loss. And that was so sad when that happened. I'm
Yeah.
looking at, even if it's not worth what I paid for it, it's my forever home. And you know as well as I do, like the stock market, there's ups and downs, but the trend is always going up.
Correct.
So whether I care about the value of this home or not, it's my forever home. And that's what the number one thing that drove us to choose something that we really wanted to live in. So beyond that, we're talking about, even if we buy move into it, maybe after his mother passes and she doesn't need close family close by, like spending a year in Mexico, but not buying, renting. Because if you get tired of the view, just pick up your stuff and go and rent somewhere else, and rent them fully furnished. Rent my house I'm in for, they'll have
Sure.
my furniture in there. And it makes everything that's smoother instead of buying where you're rent, unless you're going to stay in the States. That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
we talked about traipsing the world. So this one, I think because of all the baby boomers, my agent even told me it's difficult to find single stories, no matter Orange County, no matter where you want to go. It's extremely difficult because
I've never really thought of that. Yeah, of course.
us biggest group of babies are now trying to swoop up on all these homes, and it's very difficult and competitive. So
So
in all
interesting.
my purchases, I've never experienced anything as competitive as this was ever in my life.
I mean, everything in LA is very competitive like that, and many agents strategically price low in the list price in order to get a lot of bids and to get a lot of action on the property. They think they will earn more by pricing low, where it just feels like they get more people who can't afford the actual valued house. You know what I mean? Like people
Probably,
who
yeah.
are looking at 800 who are like, okay, I'll push myself to 830 and do an offer. And now you're having to review 20, sometimes 30, 40 offers here in LA, and you end
Yeah.
up getting 920 or something. But all those people that initially wrote offers, they didn't have to because it's not something that they can afford anyway. But
Well,
that's a standard out
my
here.
ceiling was 850, and I way surpassed my ceiling. I just made
Oh,
it work.
right,
Just made
right.
it work. So,
But what's cool about what you had said is that you had sold two
mhm,
investment properties of yours
yes,
in order to purchase it. So did you have a very large down payment?
I did.
Oh, did you buy in cash?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Phenomenal.
used my equity line for the little bit that it went over, which will be paid off in 4 years. So basically, I cash bought the house.
Phenomenal. Yeah. I mean
And
that, and that's the thing, right? People forget that purchasing investment property is an asset and you earn money on it every year, regardless of your cash flow, right? So when
well,
you do go to sell, now you can do something like that.
one of the ones I sold was all cash, but that home was basically washed off as a loss. The one that I did the 1032 exchange for had a huge gain, and I just did not feel like giving Uncle Sam $85,000 when that could have went into another property. So that's why it had to be a 1031.
Of course.
But I look at it, I paid cash for the home, but that home that had the mortgage on it, the mortgage I have now is a little bit less than that one, doing the 2-for-1. And it worked
Right.
out really well because I may not have any positive cash flow because I'm putting every payment of that, every bit of the rent into that HELOC to have it paid off in 4 years.
Yeah.
And when we moved in 2 years, the rent on the home I'm in now will be about the same, if not higher by then. And that will finish paying it off in 2 years. So we basically will not have a house payment the rest of our lives. We haven't had one since I retired because I paid off the home we're in a year or so before I retired. So
Here's the dream. Yeah,
I don't
totally.
want, I'm just a way forward thinker, which a lot of people don't. And that's why I love the business I'm in. I'm coaching and I've actually lived everything I'm telling my clients to do, which
Yeah.
makes it great because I plan so far in the future, like this house. Yes, I'm retired and I thought I was going to stay in this house forever, but after his mom fell, well, wait a minute, what if we can't go up the stairs someday? Or, what if a truck hits us and we get, body casted?
God forbid. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta, I've known somebody that had to put a hospital rental bed that has the bed that comes up in their living
Yeah.
room because of
Yeah.
something that happened. So I thought, well, I might as well make it easy on us. So
Yeah. One of my
that's
closest friends' father couldn't walk the stairs anymore, and they changed their entire dining room into his bedroom because they had to
yeah,
for
you have
10
to.
years. 10
Yeah.
years.
And it's sad when you have to do something like that because you didn't plan ahead of time, whether you knew something like that or not. Now, the other rental, one of the ones I sold was a 1 story, but it was a condo and it's only 2 bedrooms. So that wouldn't have worked. But if you have rentals in line with what you want, and if you like
Yeah.
your rentals, then that's always a viability.
Yeah. I've just started thinking about, so I have a rental that actually I lose money on. And I just don't get it. I don't know why I still have it. It's an Airbnb rental and it's just kind of a pain. There's always, it's in the desert and there's always issues on it. It's like bugs came in because it's so hot outside. It's just a natural thing that happens. It's in 29 Palms, right? There's always things. Something's happening with the water pressure and because it's hard living out there in the high desert where it's so hot and sometimes so cold, right? So I'm like, I got to get rid of this. It's literally costs me money every month. I'm not even near to breaking even on it. It is a loss every month. And
Had one in Desert Hot Springs, same thing. It was a loss. And I
it,
sold it as a loss on paper, but the rent I made while I had it was better. But maybe you can still salvage it if you keep it because property values to go up. So maybe instead of have Airbnb, maybe convert it to normal rental.
I've tried.
No, it's
Nobody wants
harder.
to live in it as a normal rental. It's so hard, but I've tried. It's right near the base. I thought maybe I could get some
Oh,
RV.
okay.
Anyway,
Well,
so it's a cool place. It's super cool. Like people who stay in it love it. It's great, but it's just doesn't make money.
yeah.
So I thought for the first time, I thought, why don't I sell that and buy something that I could actually use as well? Why don't I
Yes.
sell, like I
That
got
would be
into
smart.
that pretty low. And maybe I sell it, I would make a little bit off it. I could still not pay taxes on it because of the losses I've taken on it. But why don't I buy like a small condo near an ocean or something
Your forever
instead,
home.
right? That I can rent out as well. And then also go to and live in as well. Like it's just starting to occur to me like that's probably the smarter move, Nat, like do something like that, you know. So I love the idea of the forever, retirement home for sure.
Think
When
about it
you
sooner than later.
exactly, when you chat with somebody about purchasing something like that, if they don't have other property to sell and now have a larger down payment, what's normally a strategy that you recommend?
Well, it depends. You can't just say, is your house paid off or not? It's their whole financial situation. They may have a lot
Right.
of credit card debt. They may have a lot of expensive car loans. You don't know. But assuming cash is manageable and not living well above their means or like below their means, and let's say their home either has a lot of equity or it's paid off, one of those two scenarios, then I would suggest using the equity for their down payment, unless I would assume with that scenario like I did, I paid cash for my first 3 homes because I had that kind of money in the bank. So assuming people do, if they're savers, then obviously put your cash in there because it's going to make you more than the 1% or 3% in the bank in the long run, because you got to think long term, the price of that house is going to be going up. So that's what I would recommend. If you need a little bit more to make the payment more manageable, then take a HELOC out. The HELOCs are normally interest only for the first 10 years. So if you're able to use the rental and get enough for it, or if you can afford a small mortgage, then that's what you do. Then you take everything you have in savings to put towards a down payment, maybe a little bit more if you have to on the HELOC, and then your rental should cover both the rental income or your rental payment and your HELOC payment, with extra that you keep on slapping toward the HELOC because that's where you live at.
Right, right.
But again, I'd have to see the whole scenario because everybody's
True.
whole finances are different. You can't just say, well, everybody should do this because
And
everybody.
HELOC rates are higher. So if you can take a loan on the subject property, the property you're buying, it behooves you to do that because HELOC rates are definitely higher.
If you want to move into it now, then you have the primary residence, you get the lower rate than rent out the house you're in now. I've done that before.
True, if you're ready to move. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you can get a primary rate and put 5% down. It makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on buying your forever home, your retirement. I love it. It is something that I always suggest. I think it really is so much smarter to do it way before you're ready for retirement, because then you've got this little pocket building for you for when you are ready to move. It's just, financially the smartest thing to do for sure. Everybody, we're going to put Kathy's information below. She has a YouTube and a Facebook and an Instagram and a LinkedIn, and of course a website, Financial Freedom Pathway. So please reach out to her if you need any advice and coaching on this. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Nat. It was a pleasure being here.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.